Hello, everyone. My name's Hannah Sylvester, and I am one of the admission counselors here at Carroll College. I'm going to be giving you guys kind of a brief overview of Carroll today, what we're all about, what kind of programs we have, where we're located, and kind of what makes us really special. A little bit about myself. So I graduated last year from Carroll College. I studied biology and health sciences with minors in public health and gender studies, and I eventually hope to become a physician. I'm going to be giving you guys, like I said, kind of a brief overview, but if you have any questions after watching this presentation, please reach out to the admission department, to the different departments on campus. We can get you set up for a tour. We have lots of different kind of options for you. So if there's still questions you have after watching this, please don't hesitate to reach out because we really want to be helpful and kind of help you figure out what college might be right for you. So, a little bit about where Carroll College is located. We are in Helena, Montana, and if you've never been to Helena before, it's this really, really cute kind of valley area of Montana in western Montana. It's kind of in the heart of the Rocky Mountains, really beautiful, like hiking and biking opportunities. It is also the capital of Montana, so that's a really, really great benefit for our students because you might want to intern at like the Department of Justice or work with an organization that is here solely because we're the capital. So it's a great benefit to our students that they have the ability to work with and intern at some of these kind of different organizations in town. So really great place to live. It's also kind of a cool community because Carroll's very supportive of the Helena community through, going to the businesses, volunteering. Many times when students will graduate, they might end up staying in Helena. So the Helena community really appreciates Carroll, and it's kind of it's a mutual relationship there. So it's a really great community, and they're really supportive of what we're doing at Carroll too. They'll always come. Helena community members will always come to our athletic games and things like that. So it's a good community to live in. So as far as our academics go, many times when people have heard of Carroll before, they have heard of us because, maybe their dentist or their lawyer or their, nurse that they had when their mom was sick went to Carroll. And so it's a really great kind of tradition of excellence at Carroll where, even though we're this small school in Montana, we produce graduates that do really amazing things. So we are what's called a liberal arts college. And if you haven't heard of that before, it basically means that we believe really, really strongly that a student is stronger when they have learned about different areas, when they get opportunities to use their brain in different ways. And like this picture down at the bottom here, this is like a computer science or data science class. And students will take those classes. So let's say I'm a computer science major. I will also take philosophy and history and obviously math, but things like social science and global diversity and things that might be a little outside my wheelhouse. And while I'm taking those classes, I'm using my brain in different ways. I'm learning how to relate to people of different backgrounds and kind of finessing my communication skills. So when we have a graduate from any program, they've kind of dipped into these different areas. And because of that, they're more relatable to other people. They're kind of more able to solve complex problems. And it's a really great kind of opportunity for students entering the workforce to be very competitive in whatever their next step is. So it's a really great benefit. Carroll is a small college, so our average class size is 16. Our student to faculty ratio is 12-1. Big benefit of that is that you will never slip through the cracks at Carroll College. So, I think for me, I was nervous, like, oh my gosh, college, 400-person lecture class, like, how am I gonna get noticed by a professor? How am I gonna make friends? At Carroll, that is not the case. Like I said, average class size 16. So even some of my bigger bio classes were like 30, 40 students, and the professor always made an effort to get to know your name, your story, what you wanted to do after Carroll, and they help you get there as well. So it's not, it's a very personal education here at Carroll. We frequently have students where they might have a professor for one semester and they remember them through their whole time at Carroll. They really make an effort to like be there for students, help them along in their journey, which is, just amazing. And it's kind of like a family feel at Carroll too, which is very nice. Another benefit to that is that you might be watching this and thinking, okay, I really want to be a doctor or a physical therapist or a pharmacist, insert anything, lawyer, dentist, whatever. When people know who you are, like the professors at Carroll, they can write you great letters of rec. And that is such a huge benefit to this type of education. In addition, if an internship comes across their desk and they know you well, they can recommend you for things that really fit with your personal interests. I've mentioned some of our programs already, but we have, everything from biology to theology to nursing, theater, accounting. We have several different majors. I encourage you to spend some time on our website, check out all the programs that we offer. We have some unique minors and just kind of quite a few different offerings. One really unique program that we have is called anthrozoology. We were the first undergraduate school to ever have an anthrozoology program. And it basically means that you study the bonds between humans and animals. It's a really, really great field to pursue if you want to look into working with service animals, working with horse assisted therapy, going to vet school, those types of areas. And those students actually foster a dog from a local shelter their junior year if they want to. So it's kind of a really unique program in that way. We do have one master's program at the time I'm recording this. It is our Master's of Accountancy program. And so if you want to be a CPA, kind of be like a professional accountant, you have to have more credits to take the exam than a typical undergrad yields you. So we created a master's program so students can get ready for the CPA exam, obtain the credits they need to sit for it, and also get some like really high level accounting coursework in and make them more competitive in the workforce. And finally, our nursing program is really well known just because one big thing with Carroll is that we don't want you to just grow academically. We want you to grow kind of professionally, spiritually, personally. And because of that focus, our nursing graduates are some of the most like empathetic, best bedside manner. They're leaders in their field, and they're not just good at their skills. They're good at relating to people and kind of assisting people in really stressful situations. So last year, we actually had 5 nursing graduates that I graduated with that are all working at the Mayo Clinic right now, which is really amazing. And we have 2 students that are at the Mayo Clinic Medical School, which is among the most selective in the country. So, again, little old school in Helena, Montana, we're kind of doing these really amazing things. So that's a little bit about our nursing program. Okay, so Carroll is in Montana, like I said. There's lots of opportunities for kind of pursuing outdoor kind of opportunities and passions and things you've never even tried before, maybe. So one thing I kind of like to talk about this, one way I kind of like to talk about this is that if you're really passionate about something, you can teach a class as part of this group that's indicated here, Carroll Adventure and Mountaineering Program. So we can teach things. So like Patrick here, he's really into fishing. He might teach a clinic on tying flies for fly fishing. I've never fly fished in my life. So I could take that class from one of my peers and learn how to do this and step outside my comfort zone. And so kind of we get to play both sides of that. We get to be kind of somebody that is passionate and teaches somebody, but also we get to be a learner and step outside our comfort zone. So, I mean, it's obviously a great place for hiking, biking, backpacking. They do a spring break trip to Moab, Utah. That's down here in this corner. And so it's a really great organization that, tries to basically assist students in taking advantage of the full outdoors that we have here. Okay, so campus life. Sometimes I have to like clear this up that a small college, I think sometimes people think that there's not a lot that goes on, but that could not be further from the truth at Carroll. We have everything from events to, theater productions, athletics, tons of clubs. There's tons of opportunities to get involved. So we do have athletics, like I mentioned. I always miss one of these sports, but here we go. So we have football, soccer, volleyball, cross-country track, golf, basketball, softball. We have several NAIA sports, both men's and women's. And with the NAIA, there are scholarship funds available. So ask one of your admission counselors or ask, an athletic coach if you might be interested in pursuing athletics at Carroll. My biggest advice with that is to get in contact early and just be kind of on their radar. We also have over 300 events on campus every year. So that is everything from trivia nights to, like fun lectures, movie nights, hot springs, dances. Like there are tons of things that happen on campus. I always joke with students that I don't think I was ever bored at Carroll. I was having to say no to things because there's too much stuff going on, and sometimes you want to go to an event but you have to study, and there's lots of stuff that happens. We do have a theater program. We also have things like pep band, jazz band, string ensemble, lots of opportunities for partaking in the arts choir. And the theater program is really amazing because they put on like usually 4 productions a year, which is just so much fun to go see your friends in, and anyone can participate in theater. So I had a good friend who I think was a math and computer science major who's now getting his PhD, and he was like in all of the plays, and that was like what he really loved to do. So there's lots of opportunities to kind of step outside your comfort zone, like I said, and you don't have to fit in a box at Carroll. That's one thing that I really appreciated, was that I could pursue majors and minors that didn't necessarily fit together, and I could take part in different clubs, and I didn't have to be any one thing. I kind of got to grow in all these different areas. So that was really, really wonderful. Okay, so Carroll is a Catholic college, and I would like to kind of speak a little bit about this because I get students from either side that are very excited about the Catholic identity or a little unsure and nervous and don't know a lot about it. Carroll is what's called diocesan. So Carroll College is, you might hear of other colleges being Jesuit, Franciscan, kind of specific different types of kind of Catholicism. We are diocesan, so we're directly tied with the Diocese of Helena. We have a campus priest, a campus chaplain, Father Mark. He's indicated right here, and we have a beautiful chapel on campus. Every residence hall has some sort of prayer space or chapel, but we have one main chapel here that's so beautiful and just very reverent, and no matter what your faith tradition is, you step in that space and it's a very special space. So we are about 50% Catholic and non-Catholic. So I get the question of, do I have to be Catholic to come to Carroll? You do not. One thing that's really, really awesome about the Catholic identity, there's lots of things that are great, but it's kind of this idea that, again, we are not just people that want to sit in a desk and never grow or change or kind of encounter different ideas. The idea of like a Catholic kind of education and of the education at Carroll is that it's very transformative. We want to grow, we want to engage spiritually with whatever faith we are in. There are lots of opportunities, if you are Catholic, to grow deeper into that faith at Carroll College. So we have daily mass, we have different prayer groups and small groups, different, vocation groups. We have volunteer opportunities as well. And if you are Catholic or non-Catholic, you're welcome at any of those things. So we really want to make sure that people know that these opportunities are open for anyone. And if you've never really like encountered faith in your life, it's a great place to do that, because we are a very loving and family-oriented community where we really like want to take care of people while they're here, whatever faith they are. So it's kind of great on either side of the coin, and it's just a really, really good place to engage with these ideas and kind of be kind of spiritually aware of your role in the world. Last thing I want to say about this is that we really want you at Carroll to discover your calling. And if that is being an elementary school teacher or an accountant or a doctor or whatever, we want you to be aware that, you're not just existing in the world to have a job. We want you to kind of discover, how are you going to make a difference in this world? And it's a deeper kind of thing than I realized when I first walked into Carroll. So that's kind of what that's all about. So hands-on learning and engagement, I've kind of mentioned this a little bit with the research and internship thing, but we are really all about that at Carroll. I mean, again, we don't want you just sitting in a desk and kind of being the same person you are 4 years ago as you walk out of Carroll. We want you to step outside your comfort zone, take a really stressful internship and grow in all these cool ways, do a cool research project, travel abroad. For me, I never thought I could afford to travel abroad. I really, was like, okay, that's just probably not in the cards for me. I mean, for me, I ended up going to Uganda at the end of my freshman year, and then again at the end of my sophomore year, ended up going to Mexico with a pre-med group in the middle of my senior year, and then I went to Italy with the pilgrimage that Father Mark takes students on at the end of my senior year. Never would have thought that would have been possible But at Carroll, it's kind of, many students study abroad. We have lots of opportunities to do so, whether that is in a service club or within your major, maybe a short-term faculty-led trip. There's tons of opportunities. So we are consistently ranked best in the West. So I'm telling you all these great things about Carroll. You can believe me or not believe me, but we are also like recognized kind of by different entities as a really special place as well. So regional colleges in the West, we have been ranked #1 for 9 years in a row, which is really amazing. One of my favorite rankings on here is the hidden gem, because I really think that's kind of what we are at Carroll, where not all of my friends from high school had heard of Carroll, but it is really a hidden gem, like kind of in Montana, tucked away here, and it's a wonderful place. Okay. So as far as how students afford Carroll, we have really generous scholarships. So again, I encourage you, because everyone's financial situation is different, to have a conversation with our financial aid department, with one of us in admissions, talk to your parents and then have them talk to financial aid. We really want to help discover how this could be a reality for you. And we have these merit scholarships that range from $15,000 to $22,000 a year. And that is every year for 4 years. So that really can take down that cost of Carroll College. We are a private college, so we don't have in-state, out-of-state tuition. It's one straight up tuition level, and we have lots of scholarships to make that affordable. If any parents are watching this, I know my parents were pretty happy with these types of statistics. Carroll College's loan default rates are traditionally super a ton lower than the national average. So 10% of the national students who take out loans go into default. At Carroll, that is 1 to 2%. So that means that Carroll students are successful when they graduate. They're stable, they're well informed as to what to do with their loans, and they're paying those back and not going into default. So that's a pretty nice statistic. Okay, so I know students might be watching this from a variety of backgrounds. You might already be deposited and you're wanting to know a little more. You might be a sophomore and just wanting to know anything about college. I know there are students from different kind of areas in the pathway. So I'm just going to briefly go over the application. Carroll College has the Common App or our own application, no preference, so you do whichever one you like. We will require an essay. We will need your transcripts. And then sometimes students will choose to go test optional. What this means is that you maybe took a standardized test and you didn't do great on it. You feel like you work really hard in high school, but it's just not getting there on the standardized test. As long as you do not fit one of these categories here in purple, you can be test optional. And if you are applying in the nursing program, you want to be a scholarship athlete, your GPA is lower than a 3.0, you're homeschooled, or you don't have letter grades, you can't be test optional, so we will require a test score from you. Have a conversation with one of us about this, though. I know this can be a confusing kind of aspect of the application process, so definitely start a conversation, and we would love to help advise you what would be the best path for you. Letters of rec, we love reading them, but it's not required, so that's kind of up to you. So things that are kind of on the horizon for Carroll, we have, like I mentioned, that anthrozoology program. They actually, I think it's almost built now as I'm recording this, but this is going to be a canine center, so they can kind of have their own space for training the different dogs and doing canine training labs and stuff, so that'll be a really special space. We also have a pre-law agreement with the University of Montana Law School. So basically, if you know you want to be a lawyer, you walk into Carroll knowing that's what you want to do, you can do 3 years at Carroll College, 3 years in law school at University of Montana, and graduate a year early. And then, you save that year of tuition, you become a lawyer a year earlier. So it's a really great benefit in the long run. We also have a Master's of Social Work that is kind of up on the books. That's our next master's program that we're going to pursue, which means, if you want to pursue psychology or kind of counseling sociology, this might be a really good place to do that because we will have that Master's of Social Work. And finally, we're starting an accelerated nursing program, which if you're watching this as kind of a traditional first year student, probably won't be of a benefit for you. But if you're watching this because you are a student who has already obtained your bachelor's degree and you decided you want to pursue nursing, this might be a good program for you. So that is set to start May of 2021. Okay, so that is all I have for you. I again want to encourage you. That is just kind of a drop in the bucket of like all the great things about Carroll, kind of important information you might need. So I really, really want to tell you that we are here to help with your college experience. We want to make sure that you find the best fit for you. We're not Carroll salespeople. I mean, you can tell I really love Carroll College, but I want you to find the best college that fits for you. So have a conversation with us. We'd love to be a part of your journey. And if you're a non-traditional student, you know, you're maybe a veteran, maybe like a mom that's just wanting to go back to school, have a conversation with us too. We do have non-traditional students at Carroll. We have a great veteran services department, and we are a yellow ribbon campus as well. So again, we kind of have all these different offerings, and I want you to find the best place for you. But that is a little bit about Carroll College. I hope this was informative, and feel free to browse our website, spend some time learning a little bit more about how Carroll might fit into your college journey.